Now we are going to add some more information to Cecil's torso with the plan of maybe preparing some of his upper body, the chest and the shoulders, a little bit of the connection with the neck. In order to do that, I'm going to first start by inserting an edge loop on the front view so that we can have kind of like a half of the body, and that right away made his body more square looking. You see that it gets in this kind of cushion shape, which is not a good idea. So you want to avoid those things very early on by identifying the vertices that are around that new edge that we added, and then we're just gonna push them back and in so that you start getting you get back the model to where you want it to be in terms of roundness. The back is not as bad, but still I want to be able to have him a little more rounder, not so flat looking in the back. So I'm going to just push him back forward and then push him in a tiny bit more. So that keeps him a little bit rounder. And I'm going to do the same. Also, I'm going to add another edge loop on the side, and that again is with the intention of giving some more information to his side view. And of course, the effect is the same, and we know the solution for that. Simply just grab those vertices that we have around the new edge, and we pull them in. I missed one. Let's see, do this one. There it is. I'm going to just push it in again, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm kind of eyeballing it, and you know that what's going to happen is it's probably going to end up mirroring one half of the character. So I'm not too worried about the one side, but still I'm going to do it just so I can have a perception of how the shape is looking. So with that, yeah, he changed dramatically in terms of his width. So I'm going to just grab some of those exteriors and vertices and then just pull them out. And that way he becomes rounder again and nicer looking. Now, in order for me to work a way to blend in, start his neck, we have to start by giving some information in that area. Right now we just have the tip of the torso here, so we need to give him some information on the shoulder, and from the shoulder we can extrude out the rest of the arm, which will work later. So the arm, as we can see on this side view, I'm going to look at the x-ray, is, according to my sketch, is located there. So that's the beginning of it. And they probably, so I'm going to do is I'm going to select this around this vertex, and I'm going to try to pull it up a little bit more so that I can suggest that being the center of the arm from where that section is going to come out. So a little bit more like that, and maybe bring him out a little bit chest right here. Okay, and I'm going to go to the perspective view. And as you may imagine and remember probably from previous classes, we want to generate a loop coming out of this area. And the strategy, especially with Cecil, since he's so cartoony, it'd be a lot easier to try to generate a loop here. And I'm just going to go to mode 1 so I have a better view of my loop, or at least what I'm going to be cutting around. And you're going to see that I'm going to use my multi-cut tool, and then just simply I'm going to cut from, not from the corner, again remember, from the middle of the line to the middle of the line to the middle of the line to generate that. If I hit 1 and I hit 3 on the screen, that's giving me a little bit of stump there that actually that wasn't. Let me just undo that for a moment. It doesn't look bad, but I want to make sure that I didn't do anything that break it. So I'm going to just do it one more time. I wasn't expecting it to go out that far, but maybe, well, oh, no, again, he do it with version 1, so it's a little bit easier to cut. Maybe it is right, only that I was expecting a less pronounced, to tell the truth. Well, it did what it wanted it to do. In terms of having the loop coming out here, it did a little bit more than what I expected, just to start pronouncing that shape, but it's not wrong, it's just simply different from what I was trying to do. So at this point, it's very straightforward, and you probably are guessing already what we're going to be doing, and it is just simply cutting from here to here, from there to here, from here to here, and from here to here. And if I hit 3, you start seeing that I have generated a loop going around this area. And of course, obviously, from that loop, I'm going to be able to build the arm. So for now, I'm going just to grab these faces, and I'm going to extrude them out, just one extrusion. I'm not going to spend much time on the arms right now, just doing a little, I'm sorry, let me just do that. Just extrude and then move out, not use extrude tool to. So I have little, stuff there that's coming out. And in the front view, I should be able to give a little more of a better definition of that shoulder, and maybe try to bring down some of the other components so that I start getting a better looking transition there. So I'm going to get this guy down a little bit here. Let's see, that's the way it is there. And maybe this guy push this vertex back a little bit. And this one probably will go up a little bit more. So I'm just trying to suggest the transition from the clavicle to the shoulder. And this one I'll probably bring up a tiny bit here, and this one a tiny bit here. And this one is a little too forced there, so I'm just going to just go up a little bit there. And maybe I'm going to just grab this one and bring it down and actually push it a little more that way to start matching the center of that color there. So that has generated a nice loop around the shoulder, which I may be able to add an extra loop later on when I'm defining more that shoulder. But for now, I'm not going to do much of it. The other thing that I want to take a look at is his chest. So right now the chest, if I look at the side view, it went down a little bit, and I'm going to try to bring it up a tiny bit more here, and then a little bit back, and it became a little narrower, and I want to actually don't make it so narrow so that he starts getting a little bit more of a chest there. And this one I'm going to just pull out and up a tiny bit and back, so that this element is, this loop, of course, is important for me to have good deformation of the arm and the shoulder area. And a good deformation of the chest. Just save this incremental version here. So that is that section there. And the other thing is that so he has very low res, which is great. So we may add more some information later on, not quite there yet. And the shoulder, I can actually bring it up a little bit more, just if I wanted him to be a little more muscular. I think he's fine so far. Okay. Other thing that I want to point to is that if I wanted, or if I had a character that had some more chest, or some more, or even breast, you could play with this front piece a little bit more. I'm going just to duplicate him just to do it here as an example. because I don't plan to add more geometry to Cecil there. And you know, there are multiple ways of doing this. One of them is trying to, let's say I want to grow his chest a little bit more, maybe giving him more muscle, and I'm just going to bring down some of this guy here, and then I can try to generate from this front piece an extrusion that could become something a little bit more chest-like, or a little more breast-like if you want. In order to do that, I'm going to probably need to push this a little bit more and a little bit farther back, because I need to really make that component become a good example of transition and not so much prominent, because the actual chest is going to be this piece here. So this one may probably bring it about a tiny bit here, and then from that I'm just going to select this piece. Let me do both, but you know, this on this side is not quite right, but I'm going to extrude them. And the important thing is, of course, this slide looks awful, but the important thing is I'm going to keep these pieces separate, so that when they come out, they are coming out as their own separate section. And of course, you know, right now it feels weird because the one half is not really being well done, and of course this one looks kind of strange there. But I'm going to start just bringing it down, reducing it, and of course manipulating it to get it to do what I want it to do. So maybe pushing back a little bit there, and pushing back a little bit there, and if it was just chest, it's just a little bit of this. So that I can have a good chest plate there. So of course it doesn't look good on the other side, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna just mirror it to see how the other side looks, faces, delete this half including here, and then delete that. And as you know already, the same technique we use with the head. We're gonna select the edge and then just scale it down to become a flat thing. I'm going to do it those 2 times, and then I'm going to just mirror it over. And remember, mirroring it will need to be not the world but the object, because you want to mirror it on the center of the object, minus X, and then I'm going to say mirror to see what it does. And that didn't do it correctly. Let me undo one more time. I probably was selecting the wrong way, so let's click on this guy. I'm gonna just say mirror one more time. Object minus X, combine mirror. There we go. That's a little bit better, and that gives me a little bit more of a chest. Yes, a little too much right now and a little too pronounced, but it's a matter of fine-tuning and softening it so that it can start having a better solution for it. Yeah, a little too pronounced still. Probably at that point I will just do a little bit of sculpting just to soften it. And then scale is just 25, so that was not. And again, that was a little too far. Strength 10, strength. So you can get and you know, if that one is going a little too high, it's because probably this one needs to go a little bit lower. And and then of course by me just bringing that lower, and I may need to look at the image, but I can then try to relax. Keeps going up though, and I don't want it to go up, actually I want it to go down. Okay, so yes, you probably would have to mirror it again, but you little by little start getting the shape that you want. Probably you will probably want to add some more information in here just to make it a little more consistent. All right, that's the end of it. I'm not gonna go with a chested Cecil because that's not his model. It's more, I'm gonna go with this one. I'll delete this guy, and I probably will add some more fine-tuning as we go later on.